All right, you guys, so we are back with reversing type 2 diabetes 30 days challenge. And the last time we met, I told you that we are only focusing on lunch right now, only lunch, okay? We'll get to dinner later. And the one thing that I told you or that I shared with you is that you need to cut the fat, meaning that you need to use fat-free salad dressings if you're gonna use any. I even showed you how to make this fat-free vinaigrette. You can definitely kick this up a notch by adding some honey mustard to it. Some spicy mustard to it or Dijon mustard to it. You can add some tahini. We don't want to add tahini. You can, but tahini, we're going to talk about nut butters here in a second. But for now, I would just go with adding some Dijon mustard to it. And the reason Dijon mustard is because literally it's no fat. It's no oil, it's just mustard. It's ground up mustard seed, okay? And so you can definitely heighten the flavor that way. And eventually I do another episode where we do different types of fat-free dressing. But you're also, remember, this is your journey, your challenge. So you are welcome. And you definitely need to spend time just searching YouTube, searching Pinterest, and coming up with things that work well for you. I'm just giving you the blueprint. If we were to do a one-on-one consultation, definitely we will go deeper in depth, but I'm just giving you the blueprint, okay? And so in addition to cutting the oil from your salad dressing, I need you to cut oil, period, all right? And the reason that we need to cut oil in is because oil is fat. Oil has 9 grams of fat, okay? So you want to definitely cut the oils, because remember we said that glucose, i.e. sugar, and oil is the culprit in your diabetes diagnosis. So the glucose cannot get into the cells because they're clogged. They're clogged with fat and all other type of toxins. So we got to clean those out, right? And you still should be doing 16-8 fasting. You're doing that continuously, right? And cutting the oils, you're probably thinking, well, what do I cook with? Well, how am I supposed to cook? Because if you're anything like me, you were definitely raised on all types of oil, okay? You were raised on lard for frying chicken and stuff. Butter go in grits. Let's see, what else we got? Just some of everything. But here's the thing, you don't need butter in your grits. Just try it without. I promise you, you will be okay. We are not frying anything in these 30 days. I'm only asking you for 30 days to clean up your system and to start the reversing process. But I promise you, if you were to take everything that I'm sharing with you out to 90 days, your numbers will go down. All right? I promise you that. Your A1C numbers will go down. If not, you'll wipe it out completely, depending on where you're at already on the scale. And so, but how do we cook, right? How do we cook? Because we were taught to saute vegetables in oil, right? We're not doing any of that. We're using either water or vegetable broth. Water or vegetable broth, okay? And so just like you use oil to saute, you use water to saute. You use vegetable broth if you want a little bit more added flavor. Like this salad dressing that we made, this fat-free Italian vinaigrette that we made, it is made from vegetable broth, okay? So, that's the thing about going plant-based. You learn how to manipulate food so that food ingredients so that they are healthier for you, all right? And so let's talk about vegetable broths to use. Listen, don't just be walking in the damn store and picking up a box of vegetable broth off the shelf. This is the one that I use and I highly recommend. This is by College Inn. It may be in your area, it may not be. I don't know. This is College Inn vegetable broth. And this vegetable broth has 0 fat, right? Because we're watching our fat. And it has 1 gram of carbohydrates. You don't want any more than 1 gram of carbohydrates in your broth, okay? Remember, we are watching glucose and we're watching fat in our diabetes. Don't get caught up in macros and all that. I only want you to manage 2 things. I want you to manage your oil intake and your glucose intake, okay? Your sugar intake as we go through this challenge. Later on, well, once you get past your diabetes diagnosis, then you can start experimenting and trying some other things and see how your body responds to them. But we ain't caring for no damn protein or any of that, all right? Problem is you got too much protein already. That's part of your problem. We got to stop leading with protein. And the reason being is because the protein is when we talk about protein, we're mostly talking about meat, and meat is what's got you clogged up. So we're gonna clean out, and then you can go back. All right. And so the other broth that I like, this is by I get this at Kroger. Okay, this is called Simple Truth Organic. Again, this is low sodium. Low sodium is always good. And it's 0 fat, and this has 2 grams of carbohydrates. So that works for me because, you know, I don't really have a big issue, but you definitely want to make sure it's no more than 1. This is my favorite. They didn't have this one at Kroger, and I just left Kroger, therefore I got this one. So you be the judge of things like that, all right? If you find one that has less than one gram or less of carbohydrates, that's great. We're not trying to cut carbs out completely. We're just trying to be very intentional about the carbs that we use. But most importantly, we are focusing on fat in today, in this week, okay? Cutting out fat. So there is no, well, what if I use this? And what if I use that? I always get these questions. No fat, literally no fat. And again, after you clean out your cells, you can go back to fat. But in today, no fat. So evaluate your menu again. You should have made out your menu. Evaluate your menu and consider how you're cooking your food, and do it without any oil. Okay, that means no avocados. You gotta remove avocados. Avocados are full of fat. It's good fat, but we want to get clean. Okay, so no avocados, no nuts. You cannot have any nuts in this time period, in these 30 days. No nuts of any kind. I love nuts. But again, that's 9 grams of fat. So you want to stay away from nuts. No nut butters. I love peanut butter, almond butter, all the things. But in this period, while you're trying to reverse your type 2, stay away from nut butters, okay? So, yeah, stay away from anything that has oil. If you smell oil in it, stay away from it. All right. You can still eat healthy. I mean, you know, enjoyable meals. Let's say that you can still have enjoyable meals without the fat, without the nuts, without the avocado. Again, those are all things that we enjoy. We love them. We enjoy them because of the sugar, salt, fat intent. That's just it. The sugar, salt, fat is what brings us to those things. But when we're cleaning, we got to get rid of those, all right? Sometimes people wonder, you know, well, why I can't reverse my type 2 and my friend did. Like, I don't understand. I'm a lot smaller than her. Like, my stomach ain't half as big as hers. All those things. For one, we shouldn't be comparing, but I can guarantee the difference is that individual that you are comparing yourself to is not eating a lot of fat, all right? So they're cutting the fat, and they're cutting the oils, and they're cutting the sugar. That's what we have to get rid of. And when you learn how to control your glucose and your fat, you can reverse type 2. All right, so definitely come back for tomorrow, because I'm going to take you to the next cut. And you probably can guess what that is already. Sugar. But anyway, cut the fat today. All right, talk to you guys later.